Hey, curious minds! Today on Alcohol Explored, we'll explore the various types of alcoholic drinks. Ready for a sip of knowledge? There's a broad range of alcoholic beverages in the world, and in this video, we are going to see the most common ones: beer, wine, gin, vodka, whiskey, brandy, rum, cocktails, tequila, and some unique traditional beverages. Before we jump into the exploration, it is important to know what ABV is. ABV stands for alcohol by volume. It is a standard measure used to quantify the amount of alcohol contained in a beverage, expressed as a percentage of the total volume. The ABV percentage indicates the strength or potency of the alcoholic content in a particular drink. For example, if a beverage has an ABV of 10%, it means that 10% of the total volume of the liquid is pure alcohol. The higher the ABV, the stronger the alcoholic content. Different types of alcoholic beverages have varying ABV levels. Let's get into the video now. First up, let's talk about beer. This iconic beverage dates back thousands of years and is one of the oldest alcoholic drinks known to humanity. Brewed from malted barley, hops, water, and yeast, beer comes in various styles, from lagers and ales to stouts and IPAs. The brewing process and regional variations contribute to the diverse spectrum of flavors and aromas we associate with beer. Beer is the most popular alcoholic beverage worldwide. In fact, after water and tea, beer is the most commonly consumed drink in the world. The alcohol content in beer varies by style, but is generally in the range of 3% to 12% ABV. Most of the beers have an average of 5% ABV. This lower ABV compared to spirits makes beer a more sessionable and social beverage. Moving on to the world of wine, a drink that has been synonymous with celebration and culture for centuries. Grapes are the primary source, but wines can also be made from other fruits. The aging process, grape varieties, and the region where the grapes are grown all play a role in the distinctive characteristics of different wines. The world of wine is as complex as it is delightful. We have red wine, white wine, rosé wine, champagne, and many more varieties. Natural wines may exhibit a broad range of alcohol content, from below 9% to above 16% ABV, with most wines being in the 12.5–14.5% range. As highlighted in our previous video exploring the history of alcohol, beer and wine emerge as the foundational elements in the development of alcohol culture, with roots extending back to ancient civilizations. Now let's explore spirits distilled beverages with a higher alcohol content. Let us start with gin. Gin is a spirit typically made from a base of grains such as wheat or barley, which is first fermented and then distilled. The primary flavoring agent in gin is juniper berries. To be classified as gin, the predominant flavor must be of juniper berries, otherwise the drink cannot be called gin. The martini, one of the most famous cocktails, traditionally includes gin, dry vermouth, and garnishes like an olive or a twist of lemon. The alcohol by volume of gin typically ranges from 35% to 50%. Next up is vodka. Vodka is usually made from fermented grains and potatoes. One of the primary characteristics of vodka is its neutral taste. Unlike other spirits, vodka is typically distilled to a high level of purity, resulting in a drink with minimal flavor, aroma, or color. Vodka has a high alcohol by volume, typically ranging from 35% to 50%. Vodka is often associated with Russia, and there's a popular Russian saying, "In Russia, vodka is not a luxury, but a necessity." This reflects the cultural significance of vodka in Russian history and traditions. Thirdly, let us talk about rum. Rum is primarily made from sugarcane byproducts, such as molasses, or directly from sugarcane juice. The choice of base ingredient contributes to the flavor profile of the rum. It is typically distilled using pot stills or column stills. The alcohol by volume of rum can vary widely, ranging from around 40% to over 60% for some overproof rums. One fun fact about rum is that it has historical ties to the British Royal Navy. In the 17th century, sailors in the Royal Navy were given daily rations of rum, which became known as the daily tot. The tradition continued for centuries until it was eventually discontinued in 1970, marking the end of a historic connection between sailors and their daily ration of rum. Whiskey is primarily made from fermented grain mash, which can include barley, corn, rye, and wheat. The choice of grain significantly influences the flavor and character of the whiskey. It is typically aged in wooden barrels, often made of oak. The aging process imparts flavors, colors, and aromas to the whiskey as it interacts with the wood. There are various types of whiskey, including Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, bourbon, rye whiskey, and Tennessee whiskey. Whiskey is known for its complex flavor profile, which includes a combination of sweetness, spiciness, smokiness, and various other notes derived from the grains, fermentation, and aging process. The alcohol by volume of whiskey generally falls within the range of 40% to 60%. Brandy is typically made from fermented fruit juice, with grapes being the most common base. Other fruits used include apples, pears, cherries, and plums. The choice of fruit influences the flavor profile. Like whiskey, brandy is also often aged in wooden barrels. Many brandies exhibit a natural sweetness derived from the fruit sugars. It typically has an ABV ranging from 35% to 60%. An interesting fact about brandy is that it has a royal connection. The word brandy is derived from the Dutch word brandewijn, which means burnt wine. Legend has it that during the 17th century, a Dutch ship carrying wine ran aground in the town of Bordeaux, France. To salvage the cargo, the crew decided to distill the wine to reduce its volume for transportation. The concentrated, distilled product became known as brandy. This happy accident led to the creation of a spirit that not only became popular globally, but also found favor with European royalty and aristocracy. Tequila must be made from the blue agave plant, a succulent that grows in Mexico. The heart of the agave, known as the piña, is harvested, roasted, and crushed to extract the juice. It typically has an ABV ranging from 38% to 50%. In Mexico, there's a tradition called sipping tequila, where high-quality tequila is enjoyed slowly, similar to sipping fine wine or whiskey. This emphasizes savoring the flavors and aromas of the spirit. Cocktails involve the artful combination of different ingredients, such as spirits, liqueurs, fruit juices, syrups, and bitters. The mixing process is integral to achieving a harmonious balance of flavors. Presentation is a crucial aspect of cocktails. Cocktails are often served at specific temperatures, whether it's a chilled martini, a refreshing mojito over ice, or a warm hot toddy. The temperature contributes to the overall drinking experience. Cocktails are associated with a social and cultural experience. The art and science of mixing cocktails are known as mixology. Beyond the well-known categories, many regions have their traditional alcoholic beverages. From sake in Japan to bourbon in the United States, these drinks reflect the local culture, ingredients, and craftsmanship. Exploring these beverages provides a fascinating glimpse into the diversity of drinking traditions worldwide. Sake in Japan is made from the fermentation and brewing of the base ingredient rice. The flavor varies from dry to sweet, often with umami notes. ABV is typically 15–20%. Palm wine, known by several local names, especially toddy, is an alcoholic beverage created from the sap of various species of palm trees, such as the palmyra, date palms, and coconut palms. Toddy has a unique flavor profile that can range from sweet to mildly sour, with a hint of natural sweetness from the palm sap. The alcohol content is generally low, typically around 4% to 6% ABV, alcohol by volume, making it a relatively light alcoholic beverage. The shelf life is limited and will become sour if stored for an extended period. Sherry is a famous and internationally recognized brandy-fortified wine that originates from the region of Jerez de la Frontera in Andalusia, Spain. Sherry undergoes a unique aging process called the Solera system, where the wine is partially blended across different vintages in a series of barrels. ABV is typically 15–20%. To be labeled as bourbon, the whiskey must be produced in the United States. While bourbon can technically be produced anywhere in the country, Kentucky is historically and traditionally the heartland of bourbon production. Most bourbons are bottled at 40% to 50% ABV, with some premium or cask strength expressions having higher alcohol content. As we wrap up this episode on the types of alcoholic beverages, remember that the world of alcohol is vast and continually evolving. Whether you're a beer aficionado, a wine connoisseur, or a spirits enthusiast, there's always something new to discover. And remember, just as G.K. Chesterton says, drink because you are happy, but never because you are miserable. Join us in the next episode on Alcohol Explored, where we delve into the science behind alcohol. Cheers! Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed the content, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more fantastic videos coming your way.